Hey friends, happy Tuesday, the 21st of March. It's nice to be with you. I'm Father Bill Hill, priest at Holy Spirit Catholic Community in Rock Springs, Wyoming. I will give you a reflection on the daily readings. They are linked down below. Click the link, read the readings prayerfully, even 2 or 3 times, and then turn off the screen, spend some time with God before you move on to other things. Want to make sure that you're invited to a retreat that we're going to offer on April Fool's Day, Saturday the 1st of April. Information is in the bulletin. We would love to pray with you that day. As you can hear, my voice is better, so feeling better, thank God. The first half of Lent was crazy. I'm really glad that I didn't get laid low at, Holy Week time. God willing, we had a blizzard on Ash Wednesday, but not on Easter Sunday. We'll see. Great reminder, not in control, right? I hope that your Lent is going well. On this last Sunday, we celebrated the Sunday of Joy, Laetare Sunday. So we're a little bit past halfway through the Lenten journey. I hope that it's great. Today, we are working on Ezekiel and John's Gospel. Ezekiel, one of the tender prophecies of Ezekiel about water flowing from the temple and that water becoming a great river that cleanses the salty sea, the Dead Sea, and that trees grow along its banks that give food for the human family as well as healing for the human family. Be mindful, Ezekiel is a prophet of disruption. He's in exile in Babylon in the east when, the temple is a ruin and the people are in exile and they don't have, political leadership. They don't have religious leadership to offer sacrifice or a place. Incredibly painful. And Ezekiel is given this vision of the restoration of the temple and the way that the temple is going to bring healing and sustenance to the people. Be mindful. It's a couple generations after that they're allowed to return to Israel and establish when the Persians take over the Babylonians and Cyrus releases them. But even then, the walls of Jerusalem are poor. The temple is pretty simple, pretty scanty. It's going to take hundreds of years before, the restoration that Ezekiel dreams of. So just the place of prayer today might be the dreams that we have, the hopes that we have that maybe we will never see to fulfillment, but at the same time, the way that God is inviting us to be people of vision and prophecy and to dream of God doing incredible things in the human family and to dedicate our lives to those things. What are the deepest dreams and desires of our hearts? The Psalm, always try to remember the Psalm and oftentimes fail, but the Psalm speaks of God who is our refuge and God who is our rock. And especially if we're going through some challenges or it's difficult to dream of the future, that psalm response might be a useful place of prayer. We have in the gospel a healing story from John's gospel involving water and Jerusalem. You can appreciate the linkage that's here. What especially strikes me is that Jesus asks this man who has been disabled for 38 years, and he says, "Do you want to be well?" A pretty open-ended question. And the man definitely wants to be well, but all that he can focus on is getting into the pool. It's a pool that supposedly would bring healing for the first person that was in it. But if you can't get in it faster than other people, when the bubbles come up, then how on earth are you ever going to be well? You can see how perhaps this man who has been ill is really focused on just the immediate thing and not on the larger concept of God who brings healing, and especially in the person of Jesus Christ. And so Jesus commands him, rise, take up your mat and walk. Turns out it's a Sabbath, and so the man is carrying a load on the Sabbath, and it irritates the religious authorities and the religious authorities. Are we perhaps focused on the trees and losing the forest, right? Are there ways that the Lord is inviting us to expand our horizons? It could be in relation to healing stuff, right? Like we might be dealing with a particular area in our life that we deeply desire healing, maybe physical healing. And the Lord's been bringing, maybe emotional or spiritual healing. and we ignore it or disregard it because all that we see is what's immediately before us. And it may not be, physical disability or physical difficulties. It may be other sorts of areas of our life that we don't see, the good things that God is doing around us. Maybe the Lord's inviting us to have a larger vision and to rejoice in the grace of God that's present in our midst, even that we aren't always aware of. All right, friends, happy Tuesday. Read those readings prayerfully and then go ahead and turn off the screen. Spend some time with God. Spring break here in Rock Springs. Let's be praying for students, teachers, families, everybody involved in education, that they might be refreshed and renewed. Let's be praying for folks that are struggling and suffering. Let's pray for each other. God bless y'all.